So this is August 20th, 2026. I'm continuing from my update yesterday on the 19th. I wanted to add, you see, they're making me, my mind's like not allowing me to, my thoughts to be clear. Do you hear that? Okay, that's mind control. The other day when I was out here, 17th, I think, at 7 p.m., they really hit me hard in the head with the ELFs to the point where I was screaming and I had to go in. And what I forgot to say was that it also caused like extreme nausea. I really thought like I was going to vomit. And that continued, that nausea continued. And it's even still apparent even now, okay? Now that happened also in the Louisiana detention center, and I wrote about it. I sent the report to the warden and to ICE, but I was being completely ignored, okay, about all of this. And look, what's coming to me is that I'm being called a liar, basically, all right? And it's that started even before I even knew what was really going on. Again, I don't remember what year it was, but I was living in Malaga, Spain, and I started to be followed. Excuse, they're doing that again to my throat. I was being followed by men that I didn't know as I walked along the seafront, and that was my way of staying fit, you see. And also, I think it was the time when I had injured my back, or, well, it wasn't really an injury. I actually now think that, you know, the pain was being caused by the implants, but anyway, I was off work for about 6 months, and that's when I developed my method, my method to counteract depression, which is not what they wanted. They wanted me to go to a psychiatrist and get pills and then get locked up, probably. Okay. But what was happening was that I was being followed along the seafront by strange men, and I remember one day I was walking along and there was a guy on a bike, and he literally was circling around me on the bike, looking me up and down, circling around me. And there was a couple doing exercise together. And I ran up to them and I said, look, can I please walk with you? Because that man is stalking me. And they allowed me to walk with them, and they were asking me questions like, do you know him? And I said, no. And they didn't believe me that I didn't know him, because he was still following us, you know. I mean, he was literally behaving like an ex-boyfriend or something, and I'd never seen him in my life before, all right? And what has come to me about that, the insight that has come to me about that, is that I believe this is where the sex trafficking thing started, and it was all done with like hidden cameras and stuff. And I believe that they may have been doing that long before I even kind of realized. I mean, well, I know that because I didn't, you know, it's something that I realized much later, but I wonder if somehow I was being made famous behind my back, kind of thing, you know. You know, I don't know if on the dark web, or I don't know what they were doing exactly, but I do know from incidents that happened later that they were actually filming me, and I don't know how. I don't know if it was hidden cameras or that you know, they with those, they've got those cameras that can they, I don't know if it's called infrared. You can actually see through walls because it works on the body heat of the person. Okay, I don't know exactly, but I do know that they were doing that. All right, because of an incident that happened later. And also, one time I was at an airport, and I think it was Gibraltar, and I was flying back to the UK. Sometimes I would have to fly via Gibraltar because I lived in Malaga, okay? But sometimes if there wasn't a flight out of Malaga at the right time that I needed, then I would go via Gibraltar, okay? And a young woman approached me, a very pretty young woman, and she started, I mean, I now know this is all part of gang stalking, but I didn't then. And she started talking to me about, well, basically illegal surveillance was what she was telling me that her ex was filming her through the camera on her phone, and she actually showed me her phone that was taped up, you know. And I think really it was the beginning of, they wanted me to start to be paranoid about these things, okay. And it was very effective. But the fact is, it was like a double, what's the word? There's a word for this. There's a word that I can't remember, a double trick or something, a double bite. I can't remember the word, but basically they were making a joke about something. They were trying to make me paranoid, but at the same time it was actually happening. So I believe what they were telling people, whoever this group of people that they were their audience, I think they were telling them that I was just paranoid. But they were the ones making me paranoid. But as well as that, there were people stalking me, okay? And they were filming me, you know, secretly and stuff. And that is called sex trafficking, actually. You're not supposed to be doing that to people, okay? Just so you know, it's a violation of privacy, and you're not supposed to be doing that, all right? It's not a joke, because that's the other thing that they are constantly trying to plug, that, oh, this is all just a joke and she deserves it anyway because she's an awful person, you know. And of course they've made up all horrible lies to make it seem like I'm an awful person. And look, I'm not a perfect person either, but nobody deserves this at all, you know. It's torture. And I remember at that time when, you know, I hadn't even spoken to my son, or I don't think I'd spoken to him about it. At least, you know, I may have done it, you know, once or something. But he had obviously been told about this by the gang stalkers. You know, he was already in with the gang stalkers, and he said to me, "Oh, Mum, you're the girl who cried wolf," okay? And I can't tell you what a horrible feeling that was, because this is something that was happening to me and I was freaking terrified. And my own son, he didn't live in Spain, by the way. He was in the UK, in the you know, just had nothing to do with what was happening in Spain at all. So the only way he could have known about this was the gang stalkers telling him. Do you understand? And it was all this kind of gossip going on behind my back between people that I didn't even know were in contact with each other, okay? And that is gang stalking. They infiltrate, you know. They basically infiltrated all my social circles and my family and turned them against me. That's what they did. But that was just very, very horrible. It was very horrible. So what I'm saying is that right from the start, they were calling me a liar even before I'd even said very much, okay? So that idea of me being a liar, that they sowed the seeds of that, like, right from the start. You see, they're still doing something to my throat, excuse me. The fact is, I'm not lying. Look, I'm more than willing to testify under oath, okay, with my hand on the Bible to everything that I'm saying, okay? I've said this before. And I'm the one asking for an investigation. Why would I be doing that if if it was lies, okay? It's just ridiculous, okay? And this is why I do believe that there might be mind control involved in all of this, because why are people believing traffickers? You know, why are people believing the traffickers and turning against the victim? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I know that in this particular town, okay, fair enough. You see how they don't want me to talk. Fair enough, it's the chief of police who also happens to be the pastor of the Baptist church, okay? And here I am, a foreigner, you know, who was homeless, you know. I can understand. This is all about, you see, if getting justice is only about popularity, then that's not justice, is it? Okay? That's not justice. So there's something very wrong with the justice system here, if that's what it is, you know? And if people are more concerned, you know, about being loyal to somebody they already know, as opposed to getting crimes solved properly by the truth, you know, then it's no wonder there's so much corruption. You know, President Trump talks about the swamp. That's what he's talking about, guys. You know, and I can't help feeling sometimes that targeted individuals are kind of, we've been put here as bait, you know. We've been put in these situations where people have to, you know, people have divided loyalties because the perpetrators are people that they know and they have known for a long time, and the victims are people they don't know. You see? Anyway, this is not really the subject of this thing, but yeah, this is a very difficult situation. I am very frightened, and I do wonder if there's mind control involved, you know. And if that's the case, then people are just literally going to watch me starve to death, even though I'm a completely innocent victim. And they're not, you know, no investigation, nothing, and I'm just going to be, I mean, this is terrifying. This is like those Hitchcock movies, you know, the black and white Hitchcock movies, where the young couple pull up into this town and then everyone's weird and, you know, people are being murdered. It's kind of like that, isn't it? You know? But this is an update, and what I needed to add to the other one that I didn't was, look, I don't know what they're doing to me. They're making me very, very exhausted all the time. I keep having to go to sleep during the day and stuff. And you know, there are things I need to get done and I can't get them done. And obviously, you know, I don't have water, so that is difficult because I can't even wash my dishes. All right, it's got that bad now. I have a little bit of water left that I'm keeping for drinking, but then that's it. And I think I have enough to have like a very quick shower, and then that's it. And I have to, because I haven't showered, you know, I can't even remember when the last time was. So this isn't conducive to health. These are basic necessities for life, okay? Is food, water, and hygiene, and I am being denied those, okay? I don't even know what else to say about this. This is terrifying. But you see, they're not letting me even get these words out clearly. They're also waking me up in the middle of the night. They did last night, and then, you know, as I said, this extreme exhaustion. I mean, this morning I woke up past 10 o'clock, and you know, the roosters, my boys, they sleep in boxes in my living room. So, you know, I need to get up and get them out. And they were crowing and everything, and I just slept right through that. That's not normal, okay? And the other thing is that as I'm waking up, they're hitting me with these extreme depression and anxiety frequencies, and I do believe that it's some kind of subliminal V2K, because, you know, I just feel awful. It's as if it feels like the end of the world, okay? But at the same time, it's like, I think I've said this before, I'm being guided somehow by forces unseen, okay? This morning, for example, when I woke up and I felt that horrible end of the world feeling. Immediately I was instructed to slow my breathing and to say positive affirmations. That was immediate, and I did that. I slowed my breathing, and that calmed the anxiety, and I started saying positive affirmations like all is well, I am safe, okay? And that worked. And that was literally, I was being coached by spirit, okay? Even before I was even properly awake, all right? So at the same time that there are these very evil attacks going on, I'm being guided to. Anyway, that's the update. It's been too long. This is too long, but and I don't think I can do it clearer than this right now. That's my update.